Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to show you a little bit about I wanted to show you what we do in math and what we're currently working on. Although our main math curriculum is Saxon Math 6-7, the first 2 months of our homeschool, we focused on ensuring he knew, regular addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, making sure he mastered how to do those things. And then we dived into fractions and decimals, and then we are going to do percents next week. And I did that because I wanted to give him a firm foundation on all types of fractions, on all types of decimals and percents, and also how to convert between those three things back and forth. And once we solidified that, then we began our Saxon Math 6-7 curriculum. So currently it's the month of September, and we will begin the Saxon curriculum, I would say in about 2 weeks, and we'll start from chapter 1. But that's just how we decided to do our homeschool math. We also use Math Mammoth as our secondary curriculum. We have lots of other math curriculums that we use, but I use those just as examples or for additional resources or additional practice problems, or just to give him something different to do depending on whether or not he fully understands the concept that he's learning. So for this one, we are complete with our fractions. And we are going to move forward to dividing fractions. And again, like I said, next week we're going to jump into percents. But here is how I do my review. I do my review in 2 ways. We use Quizlet to do reviews. And I also do a review on the board with him. We talk through it. And during our review process, if he has any examples or problems to complete, they're all done on the board together. So for our first day of review, we're going to review what you currently see. I want to make sure he understands what is the top number of a fraction called. What's the bottom number? I want him to be able to answer these questions. I want him to be able to answer those problems at the bottom. And he has to talk me through it. He has to help me understand how he got to the answer that he selected. This is also our day 1 review. On the same day, we're going to review mixed numbers. We're going to make sure he understands what a mixed number is. I want to also want to make sure he understands how to add mixed numbers, and he can solve a few problems. I want him to divide problems and then find the mixed number for the quotient that he received in his division problem. I want him to explain to me what a common factor is, what is a least common factor, what are greatest common factors. So again, for day 1 in our 2-month span of going through all of these concepts, the first review day will be spent in making sure he completely understands each concept to the point of being able to thoroughly explain them to me and also teach them back to me. On day 2 of our review, we're going to ensure, again, he understands how to identify all common factors, least and greatest common factors. I want to make sure he understands how to reduce a fraction. What does it mean? What does it look like? What's an improper fraction? I want him to be able to give me an example and walk and talk through it. I also want him to talk me through and explain equivalent fractions. Give me an example, explain it. I want him to be able to write mixed numbers from a whole number, and vice versa. A mixed number to a whole number and a whole number back to a mixed number. I want him to be able to convert improper fractions to mixed fractions and convert a mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Again, all these things we have gone over already. I'm just reviewing to make sure we can move on to the next topic again, which is percents. If he doesn't get something on each day, before we end the day, I will ask him, are you confused about a particular thing? Do you totally get it and you're comfortable with solving problems? Or do you feel as though you've mastered that topic and you probably can teach it? If he feels as though he can master it, no need to review. Totally gets it, no need to review. Confused about something, then we'll take the time, I'll mark it, and then we will come back and do a refresher on that particular item or topic or concept. So he answers these questions after day 1, and he answers those questions again after day 2. The third day, we're going to ensure he remembers and understands what the word divisibility means. Give me examples, explain it. He's going to have to multiply fractions with different denominators. And he's also going to have to compare fractions. And tell me, how he got his answer and talk me through the process. And I also wrote some tips on the board. He has to ask himself, in multiplying fractions with different denominators, can he use cross division to cancel? Can he reduce anything to get a common denominator? Or can he just multiply across if he gets a common denominator? So these are the tips I put on the board to just refresh his memory as to how we solve multiplication problems that are fractions with unlike denominators. A new concept that I did not teach as of yet, but I am going to teach on day 3 is a concept that I consider to be easy, but we'll see if he can connect the dots. And this concept is basically telling him to think about how we turn a whole number to a mixed number. So he knows how to turn a whole number to a mixed number. So now that he knows how to do that, is he able to solve problems, subtraction problems that have a whole number and a fraction? So can he use the information he already knows, which is how to convert a whole number to a mixed number? Can he use that information, that knowledge, and figure out how to subtract a whole from a fraction? So that's just, I put that there just so that I can make sure that he understands he can use information he already has with new information to figure out how to solve something. And if he doesn't get it, we'll work on it. If he does, kudos to him. And again, after day 3, I'll ask him these questions. If he's confused about any particular thing, I'll mark it. We'll go and do a refresher before I jump into percents. If he totally gets it, or he feels as though he's a master and he can probably teach it, we don't need to do it again. In our homeschool, I spiral through math just like Saxon math. Okay, so a concept or a topic that he is learning today will be brought up a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. I don't just teach it one time, he gets it and we move on. I spiral through it, bringing it back to ensure that he still understands it, especially if it's concepts that he will need to use throughout his matriculation in math. So fractions, decimals, percents, measurements, basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. We're always going to spiral through that. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was of benefit. I hope you found at least one thing useful. Again, the point of this video was to show you how we do our review sessions. I normally take a topic that we've learned, that we've mastered, and I review it through Quizlet, or we do it together on a board. We talk through it. He explains it. He teaches it. He gives me examples. That's our way of knowing he understands it. If he does, we move on to the next major topic. And again, the next major topic is percents. We'll take about a week to do that. We'll do a review on percents. And if he gets it, understands it, masters it, we'll go ahead and we'll start on chapter 1 of the Saxon Math 6-7. Within the Saxon Math curriculum, we're going to go through all of this again. But I felt as though it was important for me to do basic, I would say, unit studies. I thought it was important for me to do unit studies on each of these topics separately and dive into everything about it so that when he spirals through it within the Saxon curriculum or whatever curriculum we were going to use, then he would be able to reference what he's done before. He will be able to use his lap books or notebooks to kind of recall to memory some of the things he's learned already. In the 5th grade, these fractions, decimals, percents, pre-algebra concepts are critical within the 5th grade. So I wanted to give him a firm foundation.